Hey traders, checking into the stock market today. So after the knee-jerk reaction on Friday, the bulls collect their thoughts over the weekend and show up today. So it was a very short-lived dump. Some names are clearly standing out stronger than others. I'll give you my thoughts and summarize what I'm watching for the week. So looking at SPY, we can see the big gap down on Friday and the fairly weak close, the open at the high of Friday. And that means that anybody that shorted during Friday's trading hours and held their position was red at the open today. That's a lot of bears in a lot of uncomfortable positions. So overall, one thing I want to talk about with this, and again, I've mentioned it. Well, I'll wait till we get there. All right, so looking at the S&P 500, we've got a daily loss of the uptrend, which means zoom out and we scout a weekly high or low. We're now looking at anything above 426.36 as a weekly high or low. So we're not anywhere near at risk of losing longer term uptrends. What I am looking at now is the fear low. The low of Friday for everybody is the fear low for me. And that's a very important support level for the rest of the week. If that level continues to hold, the bulls keep complete longer term control. If that level breaks, it's bears proving it to me. Because again, we had a knee-jerk reaction, and then this is time for everything to be digested. And if it results in a confirmed daily downtrend, that to me would be very notable for bears proving it as far as having some momentum in their favor. That being said, today's candle looks weaker than it really was, in the sense that the bulls had they had complete control all morning. Well, not all morning, but once the bottom was hit, complete control, hourly bull flag consolidation, and then really the last 20 minutes saw a good bit of weakness that led to a decent upper wick forming on today's daily candle. So what we will have to see, and we've said this many times before, big tech has to see weakness if the S&P 500 is going to see weakness. Why? Because our major big tech names, which make up a significant portion of our ETFs, which make up the tech sector, which makes up a significant portion of the market overall, all still strong. We had Google, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, I already said that. They were all extremely strong today, many of them up over 2% at their height, which is a huge day for names that have that size of a market cap. So again, if we're not going to see big tech weakness, we're not going to see any notable broader market weakness. We have to see big tech weakness for fear to be market wide. You can have fear in the financial sector, fear in the travel names, fear in growth. But if it's going to be market wide, it has to be in big tech. Distinguish these two sides: QQQ, semiconductors, SMH, NVDA, AMD, MU, EV names, Tesla, NIO, LCID. They're all on this side. They're all stronger. They were stronger Friday. They were stronger again today. Over here, you've got the financial sector, the energy sector, IWM and growth, travel names, and all the names that correlate with XLF. Since the COVID last time around, was that almost 2 years ago? That's insane. But 2 years ago, we were watching the correlation between the financial sector, hotels, airliners, cruises, gaming, etc. They're all on this side. They're all weaker, and they are more sensitive to these headlines. Big tech is much less sensitive to these headlines. Apple, Amazon, much less so than the names that are directly impacted on their bottom line based on these COVID headlines. So QQQ, daily high or low set. We never lost the uptrend. If the bears are going to prove anything to us, it will have to be with big tech weakness, and it will have to be with QQQ failing the all-time high and breaking our fear low of 389.77. Anything less than that, if the fear low holds, the bulls are in complete control and all-time highs are back on the table. Semiconductors are the same chart, a little bit stronger. Daily high or low set, we never lost the uptrend. We would have to break 297.89 for bears to prove anything to us. And here we are looking up at our recent highs, 318.82. Bulls are just fine in the semiconductors. EV names, nice daily chart setting higher lows. We've got Tesla higher low set at the double bottom, 1062. We've got resistance at 1202 and the all-time high. Those are really the only two major resistances that we're looking at this point. And if we look at some peers, LCID stands out really strong. tightening up, daily higher low set at 49.41. 2 little resistances before we're looking back at the all-time high. Very strong daily uptrend, higher lows consistently for weeks at this point. NIO, also in a tightening daily range, not as strong as those other two names, so I'm focusing on Tesla and LCID a bit more than NIO, but NIO is in a tightening daily range as well, as we are watching our resistance of 43.12 and key support is 39.10. So for me, the focus is on semiconductors for strength, looking at LCID, looking at Tesla. As long as QQQ is strong, I'm watching big tech and all those names for the bulls to continue their strength. XLV, not a lot going on today, inside bar, and if we're going to stay in a weekly equilibrium, that's going to remain the case because XLV doesn't have major holdings. Essentially, if we're range bound, if we're not going to be breaking this range anytime soon, then it's not going to have a significant impact. So we will still be scouting a weekly higher low, anything above 124.50. But really, we would need to see convincing multiple days in a row to have an impact. But this action right here, not really having an impact on the broader market. So it's really the floater. I just told you Team Bull and Team Bear. XLV changes sides. It goes to Team Bull sometimes. This was joining Team Bear and then Team Bull, and now it doesn't really have a team. But it's a floater as far as whose side is it on. And again, these bigger picture correlations will change eventually, but this is just what we've been noticing as the most significant correlation over the last year and a half to almost 2 years at this point. These relationships have become a lot more consistent. Financial sector. So daily time frame, anything under 40.26 is a daily lower high. Current bounce is fairly weak still. We haven't changed an hourly trend back to the bulls. We went from the low of Friday to the high of this morning. Higher low, lower high, and that's it. Just a tightening hourly range right now. Bulls have to confirm the hourly trend change, get over the high of today to try and create space. Again, we're looking for a weekly higher low on XLF, but we've been consolidating for 5 weeks now, so it's up to the bulls to confirm the first daily trend change back in their favor, as that has not happened since the all-time high. No fake outs, no nothing, just a clear daily downtrend, and anything under 40.26 is just a daily lower high. So now we're on to the weaker names. Iwm Bear Flag on the daily. The burden of proof is on the bulls to prove to us that this is not a bear flag. I would really need to see a gap fill or higher up at 228.54 if this were going to be a big enough bounce to negate a bear flag. But as of right now, this is a weak bounce and a potential bear flag. Hourly time frame, same thing. Low of Friday, high of today, higher low, lower high, just an hourly equilibrium tightening up. If it breaks bull, we zoom out and scout a daily lower high. If it breaks bear, the weekly uptrend is at risk. Higher low 216.76. And again, it's already more pullback than the bulls want to see. Even if we do change the daily trend back to the bulls from here, we have to be cautious of a weekly lower high being the result of the next bounce. So correlating with these names, the airliners. So top watch for bears this morning were airliners and cruise liners, just looking for lower highs to be set. And really what it was is the entire sector for the airliners, jets here was up 5% with no hourly trend change. Cruise liners up 8% from the low of Friday with no hourly trend change. So I know if those names are going to prove anything to me, they have to change the hourly trend. And I'm also heading into the morning saying, okay, great, bulls, you're up 8%, most of it being in extended hours when no volume is in play. Show me what happens when the real volume comes into play. And the bell rang and it was all selling pressure. So that was a nice short, and there were clear resistance levels to use. Look at the higher pre-market on jets. The bell rings. If you use 21.10 as your stop as a short, you have a big win in the first 20 minutes. RCL, high of pre-market, 72.63. High of the day, 72.52. We reject by 11 cents and dump all morning. So the bears in travel had a great morning. And you also have to keep in mind that there is headline risk for these names. There is headline risk for the bulls in these names, not necessarily for the bears. Biden talked today and alleviated some concerns. Here is the Biden reaction to whatever he was saying. Airliners. So we got some bounce relief when Biden said everything's going to be okay. But we are extremely likely to get a headline in the near-term future saying COVID I don't even know how to say it. I haven't heard it said once. Americon? Don't know, don't care. But that headline will come. First case in the States. And I won't expect it to be a Friday type reaction, but I will expect a bearish reaction in these names. I won't expect it to be a massive reaction because, again, the market is smart and it knows it's coming. At least a large number of market participants know that the probability favors that that headline is coming. So it won't have a huge impact, but I assume it will have some impact and just have to be aware of that. So if I'm looking bearish in this sector, I'm a little bit more comfortable swinging overnight than I am swinging bullish because of that potential headline that is likely coming sooner rather than later. Gold. 4-hour equilibrium, high, low, lower high, looking for the higher low. Again, the metals are not giving confidence. And I went from being a happy-go-lucky bull with a good entry, and I'll look to average up and add, and as soon as this candle came, I'm not going to add anymore. I am not confident. And now we are looking for a weekly higher low to form. But worst case for the bulls would be to confirm a weekly downtrend and set monthly lower highs. Silver is much weaker. Silver is a very clear 4-hour downtrend, rejecting from EMA 12 resistance, dropping to lower lows. Silver is in a monthly downtrend. We just lost the weekly uptrend, and we're in a daily downtrend. So the silver bulls are really not proving a whole lot here. And I am not confident in these metals. Bulls can save it, but they've got some work to do. And again, I'm in no rush to do anything bullish with these metals at this point. I do still have some positions. They are now slightly in the red. They're not big enough for me to be overly concerned, but not confident. As the dollar stays strong inside bar today, but still a clear daily uptrend. Oil, 4-hour equilibrium as well. Scouting the higher low. So both gold and oil can be on watch for the 4-hour equilibrium heading into tomorrow. Anticipating it's going to be an equilibrium. We need these higher lows to be set, but that's what we're watching for tomorrow. Natural gas, red flag. The size of this pullback from the 12-hour bull break from our falling wedge. Definitely a red flag with the size of that drop. So we're technically back testing the previous resistance, now support. Hourly, trying to get a bounce going, struggling to do so. But that's a big drop to get to that back test. Drop of over 10%. So definitely want to be cautious because further monthly consolidation, entirely possible that is shaping up. And we haven't confirmed a daily trend change yet. We came straight from that low. We broke the 12-hour falling wedge bullish. The best case scenario would have been a healthy daily higher low and higher high. We're still looking for a daily higher low compared to 462.6. But again, the retracement size is a bit concerning for the bulls. Other names I'm watching this week, the crypto names. I talked about them a bit in the crypto video. Bitcoin showing some strength. Bulls still need to confirm the daily trend change back in their favor in crypto, so I'm not going aggressive in these crypto-related stocks until Bitcoin shapes up a daily trend change. But just want to highlight relative strength and weakness. I've been highlighting for months how MARA is way stronger than Riot, and that has been the case for a very long time. And how did I gauge that? I looked at this double top here of resistance. I looked at how long we traded under it. I looked at the bull break and how far above it we got. And I compare that to MARA, and it's a night and day difference. We broke out in a huge way. We cleared the highs of spring in a big way, and Riot didn't even come close. So MARA has been way stronger than Riot, but Riot did have bearish news right here, being investigated for whatever, don't even know, don't care. But since then, it's been weaker. So that relative strength and weakness has shifted a bit. And I can say that because, again, look at these lower highs on the daily. And today, MARA, I ended up trading it today, but we didn't break the highs of 3 of the days of last week. Whereas Riot broke the high of last week. So highest price in 6 trading days was hit, whereas MARA's highest price in 2 trading days was hit. So it's a big difference. Short term, there is a shift underway, and news is the reason for that. But I'm watching these crypto names for weekly higher lows. Inside bars on MARA, Riot broke its inside bar bullish, so the weekly higher low is set. HUT scouting a weekly higher low off EMA 12. Coin scouting a weekly higher low off EMA 12. So if the Bitcoin bulls can shape up a daily trend change back in their favor, these names are positioned well to give us weekly higher lows. And definitely worth watching these names if the bullish environment in the cryptocurrency space continues. So that's what I'm watching this week. Watching for that headline. Watching to see how the travel names respond to it. Watching for daily lower highs to be the result of these bounces. Watching big tech very closely. Are there any cracks in the armor of the big tech bulls, or do they continue strong? Hope you had a good weekend. Don't forget to do good things, and we will see you tomorrow. This is where turkeys sleep.